Hey, how's it going, everybody? Sarasota Cowboy Teal coming to you from inside the Crusher, somewhere north of Phoenix, 87 miles north of Phoenix, traveling southbound on I-17, following the front end. And that's what I want to talk about in this video. The topic is travel. And the topic is, where do you travel? How do you travel? And when do you travel? And why do you travel? Well, the first thing I would recommend, remember, this is all my recommendation. I have read quite a few recommendations from people watching my videos that seem to think that I need to do what they want to do. And respectfully, you absolutely need to do what you're saying. It's not my job to do it for you. I mean, I hope I can bring you entertainment, and maybe you like what I'm doing, and maybe it'll give you some other ideas to think about besides what you thought. But if that's what you want to do, by all means, because I'm doing what I want to do, and that's what I'm going to continue to do. While I do take suggestions and want to know, I don't know where all these things are. And I'm open, yeah, I'll check it. But if I don't, well, that's because I didn't. I'm just driving, and if I don't feel it or I don't want to or whatever, I just don't do it. I got 100 suggestions from the community of where to go and places to stay and campgrounds, and one guy, he inundates me with all this information, and I don't think I've probably used any of it. I have it at my disposal, and I'm very appreciative, but I feel bad that he's taking the time, to do it, but I think he enjoys it, actually. I think he even told me one time he constantly sends information to others that are out traveling. He's just there to help. It's really a very kind thing is what he's doing. And I guess he's got the time. But travel, you need to do it. You say, well, I don't want to travel. Well, change your mind and get out and see the country. You like where you live, don't you? You wouldn't live there if you didn't like it. And you like to go to places around where you live. Something happened here. There's a billion cars going up this mountain. It's just slow trucks is what it is. But, and beeper. You like doing things in your neighborhood, in your city, you can like a lot more. Broaden your horizons. Go out. And you don't, this is what I'm going to try and tell you, you don't have to have an itinerary. You don't have to have set dollars. You don't have to think that it's going to cost too much so you won't do it, because you must have this or that. Now, if you're talking about carrying you and your wife and your 3 kids, well, that's a vacation time. Well, I'm talking about people that are retired, that can stay out longer. They have maybe the means, they don't have debt anymore. They can get something like a little teardrop, and they have a nice pickup truck. It doesn't need much. You don't even need a pickup truck to pull that thing. And just get out and start driving and just go. Follow the front end. That's what I like to do. I've done it on a motorcycle. I've done it in a car. I've done it in a truck. I've done it in a Class C RV. I'm trying to get over here. Get out of the hammer lane before one of my subscribers yells at me. But the fact is, you don't know what you want. You think you know what you want. You really don't. When I was in the car business, we learned a long time ago, somebody comes in and says they want a 2-door blue car, they drive out in a 4-door red car. People change their minds. So if you just get in your car, got your gas money, you're retired, you got a little teardrop, or you bought yourself a little older camper, or a Class C or something, and you got your significant other, you can take a long trip, a short trip, and just drive. And I find that it's interesting just seeing right now. I've already turned the camera on a lot today. I'm talking to you right now, but it's just amazing. All right, so you drove. Now, like, what do you do? End of the day. Well, you go into a truck stop. You go into a Cracker Barrel. You go into all the places I mentioned on an earlier video. What's it called? Bass Pro Shops and casinos. All kinds of places where you can lay your head down and sleep. Because what is a hotel room if you're going to leave the next morning after breakfast? You're $150 poorer, and you went in there late because you drove all day. Maybe you got there at dinner time, you got a good movie in, you enjoyed it, you got some money's worth, and the next morning they're throwing you out of there or telling you to give them another $150 or more. And that'll buy a lot of gas. So I say, do what I'm doing right here in this video, these videos. And I didn't even know it was going to be like this. I thought I was going to have to throw down at campgrounds and RV parks and all that. And if there comes a place in my travel before I go back to Florida that I say, Tim, you need to stay here like 3 days. This place is bitching. Well, I'll either stay at the truck stop for 3 days and go around and do stuff, or I'll do what I said I was going to do with my e-bike, ride around the RV park. How you doing? Meet the neighbors and get acquainted, and all that. And there's nothing wrong with it. But it doesn't have to be every night. If you're going to go out and travel, kind of get to the area that you want to see the most, and the days that it takes to get to that area, unless you're already in the area. But if you have to drive like me from Florida all the way on the other side of the United States just to get to the West, I'm not going to go slow, waste all my time, that I only have a limited time, because I got to get back for a doctor or whatever, and pay hotels, campgrounds. Heck no. So maybe I'm talking to a much narrower audience because this is kind of a nomadic, a guy or a gal, a single guy or a single gal. Unless that same kind of guy and that same kind of gal hook up together and they're like-minded about it, you can do something like this. But it's not your whole life. It's part of your life as a memory. As before you die, you have memory. You've created memories. You went and saw some of the most majestic places. You've met some cool people. Even in a gas station, you've seen all kind of different kinds of terrain. I mean, every mile I drive, it changes. And it's just fun. And yeah, gas is $3-4 a gallon now. Not 4, but unless you got a diesel, I guess. But gas is more than it was years ago. But I haven't paid one night in a campground or a hotel. Hotel doesn't even come out of my mouth. That's not even my vocabulary. Until recently, I got to hook up with Jonathan with the Hampton Inns. Otherwise, I was a Motel 6 guy. And I love them because they're everywhere. They don't play games on the price. It's usually right on the marquee. And a lot of times, well, in the past, it was no more than paying at a campground. You go in there, you lock the door, you got clean sheets and a shower, and you got free HBO. You lay down, you recharge your battery, you get up in the morning, have a little breakfast, your best cup of coffee you ever drink in your life, and you go down the road. And it's another day of repeating day after day after day of just fun. Endless summer, endless travel. I'm hooked on it. And I've been trying to show you guys Unfortunately, some of the most majestic things that are in our country, like the Grand Canyon I went to today, I'm not able to share that because of rules. So that's really terrible, really. I mean, whatever. Because that would bring them more business like they need it. God, I probably wouldn't want to contribute to that anyway. I'm sitting here complaining about it. But yeah, you can get out and have yourself a good time. It's different from all those years of going to the prison job, of going to the Publix grocery store, or Winn-Dixie, or whatever grocery store you shop at. Vons, that's a California grocery store. Alpha Beta, Piggly Wiggly. But, you know, your circle in life, if you think about it, even if you live in a big city, you don't even go around the rest of your city. When I lived in Atlanta, I lived in one little piece of the pie, and my whole world was all around where I lived and shopped. And then once a year or twice a year, I'd shoot out a little ways further to go see something or do something, and back into that little circle again. And what a mundane life. Break out. There are so many people that love traveling, that travel. Miss Janine, my subscriber, her and Jim, she could sit and talk to you for an hour and not repeat a place they've been. Now, they've been all over the world. And I don't see any need, personally, I don't have a passport, number one, that I need to go anywhere else besides the USA, because we have a beautiful country. Look at that. And we got great people. You know the language, you know the food, you know everything, the laws. You got your own vehicle. So, when should you do it? Well, when you got the prison job and you got to make your money to raise your kids still and all that, and you're a younger person, yeah, you're not going to be able to go for very long. You get your once or twice a year vacation. You got a limited time, so they put you on a limited distance you can go. But if you're retired and, you know, you have a minimal overhead, like I do. I live in an RV, in an RV park. It doesn't cost what it costs to live in a house or an apartment or a villa. And I'd rather spend my money on new Western shirts, cowboy hats, gas, travel, have a nice Mexican meal at a great restaurant like I did in Flagstaff tonight, rather than rent, electric, cable, Netflix, lawnmower repairs, Lowe's credit card bill, HOA fees, property taxes, and they just keep going up, and you're at the mercy. And you only have so many dollars. And I know it's the American dream, and they go up in value, but unless you sell it, you don't have that value. That's where you live. You know, if you bought and sold them, and that was your business, that's one thing. And then when you make that money, then go out and do what I'm talking about. Stop doing the norm that you've done your entire life and start. And when I say the norm, I mean the things that are really kind of a ball and chain that you have to do, that you don't necessarily want to do. That if you had your druthers, you'd do something else. Like do nothing, or just drive around the United States and see stuff. It's pretty amazing. And you got no timetable when to get there. Although I drive like crazy because I got so much I want to see. You could go to your own pace. 4,000 feet. And just get out and see everything. It's awesome. What other kind of travel is there? I don't know. I don't do it. I don't go abroad. I took cruises. Cruises are cool. Cruises are very cool. I did 15 of them. And I'm not chomping at the bit to do another one. I would, but I'm not necessarily, making that a goal. That's what I want to do. I can do one tomorrow, but I don't want to. For these reasons. One, that is definitely something you do with somebody for two reasons. One, you got to pay for a second person if you don't take somebody. You do. It's based on double occupancy. Go by yourself, but you're going to pay for two people. So that sucks. Two, you want to go with somebody. It's romantic. You're confined to the ship. They do have ports they go in. You can get off, but they're not worth seeing. Believe me, I did a bunch of them. When they go to Cancun, those places, you're not in Cancun. You're nowhere near. You're at a place that these cruise ships buy for pennies so they can park their boat there. It's a boat ramp. And all the little stores that are right off the ship, they own it. And they want you to stay right there and buy from them. And they just take you by your ankles and turn you upside down and shake your wallet and your money out of your pocket. I got to the point where I didn't even get off the ship because I owned it then. All them other folks, they would get off, take all their hundreds with them, and go buy a bunch of crap. Or take an excursion. But if you're going to go to Mexico or Cancun and you want to see those places, you're better off flying in there, getting into a resort and being in, the city of it, not the boat ramp. And that's where the ships go. Sometimes they're close to those places and you can take a taxi. But look, do you want to take a chance of knowing you only got 5 or 6 hours and that ship's going to leave with or without you? And anything can happen if you go into these towns and, you're like me, you don't have a passport. So if you had to fly home and you're out of the country, you couldn't. But if you go with your birth certificate on a cruise and you leave the U.S. and you come back to the U.S. and you don't come back from another country, you don't need a birth certificate to cruise. But I do need to get a passport. I mean, you don't need a passport to cruise. Anyway, forget all that. Cruising is okay, but just traveling the United States. Those national parks, hey, if you're not looking to, and I'm not necessarily needing to put it on YouTube, but I'd like to see them. They're beautiful, and I got a free pass. And I'm probably going to go to one if I drive by one here. I went to the Grand Canyon today. But go to those places. That's where Amazingville is. What I saw today was nothing but amazing. And the whole road to get there and out of there. But I recommend travel. I recommend if you are retired, you're getting your Social Security, you got a little supplement income, whether it be a pension, 401 money you're taking out, or you've just been saving your money and you got a little part-time side hustle that you can quit and go back to doing when you get home. Or you work for yourself as your side hustle. You're a plumber, a car mechanic, an electrician, a builder of some kind. You have some skill set that you just take a break from it and you take your free money that comes in every month, your Social Security, and you put some gas in your car that you don't have car payments on, and you take off. And you grab that sweet little thing you got with you and you show her a good time. And you build memories together. And then you look back one day and you got that. And I had that. Thought I had it. Thought I had it a couple of times, I guess. But I've always done all these things by myself. I don't think I've done any of these travels that I can think of, other than when I moved across country with my family when I was younger. And that was a little bit like this, but it was a move with a Penske truck. We went across the whole United States. That's what kind of opened my eyes up to it. I thought, man, I need to come back here. This is very cool. And when you get up to Tahoe and you drive up Big Sur, people talk about taking a drive on Sunday. When I was young, we used to get in the car and go for drives. At Christmas time, we used to get in the car and go drive around and look at Christmas decorations. Driving opens your eyes to a lot of cool stuff. And you take you a trip like I'm doing. I don't have time on this first leg to go to the Big Sur. I want to go there. I keep thinking about it. You know, in Tahoe and up through the Sierra Nevada mountains, Vegas, Hoover Dam, Lake Mead, all that desert area that you drive through, Death Valley. There's a lake in Death Valley right now. People are paddleboarding, unless it's all dried up. I see a Love's. I'm getting off. At Lake Mead. Plus I need gas. Whoa! Thank you, buddy. Wow.
Speed check reported ahead on I-17 South.
Let them check. So anyway, I don't know if that made any sense to you or motivated you to or whatever. Keep watching my videos. I'm just going to be doing what I'm doing. And you can continue to suggest and tell me what you think I should do. I don't care. But don't give me a hard time. Like, we're so disappointed in you. I'm not. I'm having a ball. And most of the comments I read are really enjoying the ride along too. $3.49 a gallon.
Use the right lane to merge onto I-17 South.
Stop. I'm not going to listen to you anymore. I'm sleeping now. 5 o'clock. Time to pull it over.
Continue straight.
No. Never go straight. Go forward. Somebody told me that a long time ago. Guys and gals, I love you all. I appreciate you watching my videos. I hope that wasn't a boring talk for you. I got more boring talks coming. So wait for the next one. If you didn't like that one, there'll be another one coming. Believe me, sooner than you can think. Crush it.